In the deep silence of space, far beyond known human colonies, the stars glowed cold and distant. The ship named Dahan Frontier moved through the void like a silver arrow, steady and patient. It had been traveling for months without seeing another living being. Inside the ship, the air was quiet except for the soft hum of engines and the steady sound of life support systems. Captain Ryu Seok stood near the main window of the bridge, looking out at the endless black. His uniform was simple, but his presence carried calm authority. He had led many missions before, but this one felt different. They had gone beyond the border of mapped space, and even the signals from Earth were faint now. The stars here were strange, colder somehow, and sometimes they flickered with colors his instruments could not explain. Lieutenant Jiwon sat at the navigation console, her fingers moving over the glowing screens. She had been checking for any sign of nearby systems that could support life, but every scan came up empty. "Captain," she said softly, "no readings again. Just more debris fields and dust." "Keep checking," Ryu replied. "We didn't come this far to find nothing." Engineer Dae-hyun was underneath a control panel, tightening a loose connector. He muttered something about how old ships always needed fixing. Yoon-ha, the tactical officer, smiled slightly as she looked at the readings on her console. "You talk to the ship like it can hear you," she said. Dae-hyun grinned. "She can hear me. Every time I complain, something starts working again." Their small talk broke when a soft beep came from the sensor array. Ji-won leaned forward, her eyes widening. "Captain, I'm getting a signal." Ryu turned to her. "What kind of signal?" "It's strange," Ji-won said, adjusting the filters. "It's not human. The pattern is too clean, too precise. It's coming from 3 light minutes ahead." Yoon-ha began scanning with the tactical system. The data came back slowly at first, but then the full picture appeared. "Multiple contacts. They're ships, Captain. A whole fleet." The bridge fell silent. Ryu took a slow breath. No human ship had ever reported finding an alien fleet out here. "Until now, can they see us?" Ryu asked. "Not yet," Yoon-ha said. "We're running cold, minimal emissions." "Then let's keep it that way," Ryu said. "Ji-won, bring us closer but stay under their scan range. I want visuals." As the Dahan Frontier drifted closer, the screens on the bridge began to light up with clearer images. The alien ships were unlike anything human eyes had seen. Their designs were elegant but strange. Curved hulls glowing with a soft green light moving in perfect formation. They looked alive, almost like creatures swimming through the stars. Dae-hyun whistled softly. "Whoever they are, they have style," Yoon-ha frowned. "Style doesn't win battles." On one of the alien ships, Commander Keylor of the Vareth Dominion watched the new contact appear on his sensors. The unknown vessel was small, slow, and radiating odd energy readings. His officers laughed. They thought it was some lost scavenger craft or a probe. Keylor, however, felt something unsettling in his gut. The ship's structure looked primitive, solid metal plating instead of energy barriers, large guns instead of plasma emitters, but something about its silence made him uneasy. "Bring us closer," he ordered. "Let us see this thing properly." On the human ship, Yoon-ha reported the alien fleet moving toward them. Ryu gave no sign of worry. His calm voice filled the room. "Maintain position. Let them come." The alien fleet surrounded the Dahan Frontier in a perfect sphere formation. The ship was smaller than any of theirs, and its power output was laughably low compared to their war cruisers. Keylor opened a communication channel, but the humans did not respond. The static-filled silence lasted for long minutes. "They're ignoring us," said one of Keylor's officers. "Should we send a warning pulse?" Keylor nodded. A beam of bright plasma fired past the Dahan Frontier, scorching the space nearby. Inside the human ship, the lights flickered slightly, but no damage showed. The bridge crew did not move. Only Ryu's voice broke the silence. "They're testing us." Yoon-ha's eyes narrowed. "What do we do?" "Nothing yet," Ryu said. "Let them believe we're fragile." On the alien bridge, Keylor watched with confusion. The strange vessel had not reacted to their show of force. No evasive movement, no weapon activation, nothing. "Is it empty?" he asked. "Scan for life." The scanners returned readings that made no sense. The human ship had energy flowing through it in unpredictable bursts. Its systems didn't use stable fields. They flickered between frequencies like chaos wrapped in steel. Keylor didn't understand. To him, it looked like instability. He didn't know that humans had built redundancy into their ships so that even a total system loss wouldn't stop them. Ryu stood still, watching the alien vessels surround them. His crew waited for his word. Finally, he said, "Yunha, charge the main coil gun, but do not power the barrels yet. G1, open a wideband recording. Earth will want to hear about this." "Yes, Captain," G1 said, her voice steady but her hands trembling slightly. For a few long minutes, both fleets floated silently in the darkness. The only movement came from drifting dust and small rocks between them. It felt like time had stopped. Daehyun whispered, "They must think we're broken." Ryu smiled faintly. "Good. That gives us time to see what kind of people they are." On the alien flagship, Kalor grew impatient. He didn't like mysteries and he didn't like silence. "Prepare a second shot," he ordered. "This time hit their hull. Let them know who they're dealing with." A brilliant lance of plasma shot across the darkness, striking the Daehan frontier squarely along its side. The human ship rocked slightly and alarms flickered for a second, but the armor absorbed the blow completely. Daehyun checked the readings. "No breach, no heat spread. Nanite layer dispersed the energy." Ryu nodded. "So now we know their weapon strength. Enough to singe us, but not enough to break us." Yunha's hand hovered over the weapon controls. "Permission to return fire?" Ryu looked at the alien ships on the screen. There were 20 of them, each bristling with energy weapons. Their lights pulsed like heartbeats, confident and strong, but their confidence came from never facing something like humans before. "Not yet," Ryu said softly. "Let them see that we're not afraid." The alien commander hesitated after the second shot. His crew looked uneasy. The strange vessel should have been destroyed, but it stood untouched, silent, watching. In the deep void between the two fleets, something unseen shifted, a balance of fear, curiosity, and destiny. Ryu Seok turned to his crew. "Hold positions. If they try a third time, we answer." No one argued. The Daehan frontier floated calmly among 20 alien warships, quiet and still. The humans waited, their hearts steady, their ship glowing faintly in the dark. For the first time, the Vareth Dominion faced something they couldn't read or understand. They thought they were observing a fragile vessel. They didn't realize they were looking at humanity's first warship beyond the stars, and that their history was about to change forever. The alien fleet drifted silently around the Daehan frontier, moving with a grace that came from years of training and experience. Commander Kalor could not understand why the small human ship remained calm. His officers murmured among themselves, puzzled and frightened. Their scans of the vessel were confusing. Its hull emitted energy in bursts that seemed random yet stable. Its shape suggested weakness, but every system behaved perfectly. Kalor's stomach tightened with unease. Inside the Daehan frontier, Captain Ryu Seok paced slowly. His eyes scanned the alien formation on the main screen. Lieutenant Jiwon monitored the sensors, her fingers flying over the controls. "They're scanning us constantly," she said. "Every second they change formation, their energy output spikes. They think we are weaker than them?" "Good," Ryu replied, his voice calm. "Let them keep thinking that. We need them to make a mistake." Engineer Dae-hyun leaned over a console, checking the power distribution. "Hull systems are stable, Captain. Shields nominal, life support stable. They won't break us with brute force." Yunha, the tactical officer, observed the alien ships with narrowed eyes. "We should plan our defense anyway. They might try something unexpected," Ryu nodded. "Prepare the railguns and kinetic projectors. Don't fire yet. I want to understand their tactics before they learn ours." The Vareth ships made their first move. One of the faster cruisers surged toward the Daehan frontier. Its energy weapons glowed, and a pulse of plasma lit the darkness as it fired. The blast passed close to the human ship, but it did not move. Sensors reported only a slight energy dissipation absorbed by the nanite armor. Kalor frowned. "Why didn't they dodge?" he asked. His officer shrugged. No one had an answer. On the human ship, Dae-hyun checked the readings. Armor took it without strain. "They'll be confused by that." "Good," Ryu said. "Let them wonder. Keep them thinking they have the upper hand." Jiwon tapped a few buttons. "Captain, they are trying to flank us. 2 ships are moving to either side." Ryu studied the display. The alien ships were positioning themselves as if to surround the Daehan frontier. "Let them. We can handle a circle if it comes to that." As the aliens moved, the human ship seemed to shimmer, almost like it was blending with the darkness of space. It wasn't cloaked. It was the way the light interacted with its hull, reflecting energy in unpredictable bursts. Kaylor noticed this and felt a chill. Their scanners could not fully read the ship's systems. "Increase scanning frequency," he ordered. Meanwhile, on the Dahan frontier, Ryu gave another calm command. "Unha, record their movements. G1, keep feeding me real-time data. Dahyun, make sure the railguns are ready. We might need them soon." The bridge crew worked silently but efficiently. No one panicked. The calmness of the captain seemed to spread to the others. The aliens decided to test the humans further. One of their cruisers fired a wider energy beam, aiming directly at the front of the Dahan frontier. The humans did not move, and when the blast hit, the ship shuddered slightly but nothing more. The beam dispersed harmlessly across the nanite armor, which absorbed and redirected the energy. "Captain, their second attack is harmless," Yunha said. "I know," Ryu replied. "Let them keep firing. We learn more about their patterns this way." On the alien ships, Keylor grew frustrated. His officers whispered about strange human resilience, about ships that should have been destroyed instantly. He clenched his fists. "Hold fire. Analyze the damage." The crew scanned and scanned, but their instruments kept giving unpredictable readings. The human ship was stable, its systems fully operational. They had never seen technology behave like this before. Inside the Dahan frontier, Dahyun smiled quietly. "They still think they're powerful. Soon they will learn the truth." Ryu turned to Yunha. "Prepare countermeasures. Not to fire yet, just in case they escalate. We won't need them unless they make a serious mistake." The aliens decided to try intimidation. 3 cruisers surged forward together, their weapons glowing, their engines leaving trails of green light. They formed a triangle, aiming to trap the human ship. Kaylor expected fear, a retreat, a surrender. The Dahan frontier did not move. It seemed to float, patient and silent, a single silver speck against the vast darkness. The alien crew stared in disbelief. Their scanners failed to detect any energy surge that would indicate defensive measures. They had nothing to read, nothing to anticipate. "What are they doing?" one officer whispered. Kaylor could not answer. For the first time he felt fear. Not the fear of losing, but the fear of the unknown. The human ship was not reacting. It was watching them, learning them, waiting for something they could not understand. Ryu's voice broke the tension on the human bridge. "They are nervous. Good, let them stay that way." Ji-won continued monitoring. "Captain, I can see small energy fluctuations in their weapons. They are hesitating, adjusting their approach." "Exactly what we need," Ryu said. "They doubt themselves. Never underestimate hesitation." The human crew remained quiet, watching the alien movements. Each flicker on the sensors gave information. Each pulse of energy from the aliens revealed a weakness. They were not aggressive yet, not reckless. The humans allowed them to think they were in control. The alien ships finally came to a stop, forming a loose circle around the Dahan frontier. Kaylor called for analysis reports, but the data only confirmed his fear. The human ship was stable, prepared, and entirely unreadable by their systems. "Hold positions," Ryu said. "We are not attacking yet. Let them see our patience." Inside the human ship, the crew worked quietly, adjusting systems, monitoring sensors, and keeping everything in perfect order. No fear, no hesitation, only focus. They understood the alien mentality and knew that the first mistake by the Vareth fleet would give them an advantage. Kaylor felt the tension rising. His entire fleet had been trained for hundreds of years to dominate and control the stars. Yet here they were, facing a ship that they could not understand, could not intimidate, and could not destroy. For the first time, the humans were not just survivors. They were equals, observers and hunters waiting for the right moment. As the minutes stretched into hours, the silence between the fleets became a statement. Both sides watched, the aliens confused and cautious, the humans calm and patient. In this quiet, in the cold darkness of space, the first real understanding between the two species began. One would strike first, but for now they only observed each other. The human ship remained perfectly still, a silver shadow in the alien formation. Commander Kaylor could feel the doubt creeping into his mind. The humans were not like anything they had faced before. They were not myths. They were not legends. They were real, and they were waiting. Inside the Dahan frontier, Captain Ryu Seok allowed himself a small smile. The first look had been made, and the Vareth fleet had seen a human warship and stopped moving. The silence between the two fleets stretched across the void like a heavy curtain. The Vareth Dominion's officers grew restless. whispering about the strange behavior of the human ship. Commander Keylor paced on the bridge of his flagship, frustrated and confused. He had expected fear, surrender, or at least some recognition of their superiority. Instead, the humans floated silently, confident and calm. Inside the Daehan frontier, Captain Ryu Seok watched the alien fleet's movements carefully. Lieutenant Ji-won fed him data from all directions. "Captain, the outer ships are trying to probe our shields. They are cautious but testing every angle." Ryu nodded. "Let them test. Their energy is wasted on us. Daehyun, check the railgun charge levels. Make sure we are ready if they make a serious move." Engineer Daehyun worked quickly, ensuring the ship's kinetic weapons were fully operational. "All systems go, Captain, no delays. We can strike instantly if needed." Yunha adjusted the tactical readouts. "They are planning a larger move. The flagship is signaling the others. They want to surround us." "Good," Ryu said calmly. "Let them come closer. They won't break us yet." Keylor gave the command to fire again. A volley of energy pulses streaked across space, aiming for the human ship. The Daehan frontier did not move. The blasts struck its hull, and each was absorbed completely by the nanite armor. The crew remained calm, their eyes focused on the displays. "They are too confident," Daehyun whispered. "They don't know the armor is stronger than it looks." Ryu's voice cut across the bridge. "Calm, let them think they are testing us. They will make the first mistake, and then we respond." The Varith ships hesitated after seeing their weapons have no effect. Keylor felt the tension rise in his chest. He had faced Deathworld beasts, hostile civilizations, and ancient rival empires, but never something like this. His crew whispered in fear. Their weapons seemed powerful, but the human ship remained untouched. "Scan their energy outputs," Keylor commanded, his voice tight. "We need to understand their defenses." The readings were confusing. The human ship's energy fluctuated in bursts that made no sense. Each burst seemed random, yet all systems were stable. The alien science officers were baffled. They had no idea how the humans had achieved such stability while making it appear weak. On the Daehan frontier, Ji-won reported every movement of the enemy ships. "They are coordinating. They want to surround us fully. Let them," Ryu said. "We will not panic. We will not give them fear. Keep scanning." The aliens began to execute their plan, forming a near-perfect sphere around the human ship. They moved in precision, each ship ready to attack. Commander Keylor expected them to retreat once their firepower failed, but the humans did not react. "They are strange," one officer said quietly. "They do not respond to fear. They do not respond to power." Keylor's fists clenched. "Prepare a concentrated strike on the front. We hit them together. Destroy the hull." The energy beams fired, converging on the front of the Daehan frontier. The ship seemed to absorb everything effortlessly. Sensors reported no critical damage. The armor dispersed the energy into harmless pulses. Daehyun checked the readings, a small smile on his face. "Hull is intact. No stress detected. They won't understand what happened." Ryu's calm voice filled the bridge. "They are learning nothing. They think they have control. Let them keep thinking that." The Vareth flagship signaled the others to adjust their positions. Keylor realized his officers were panicking. Their experience had taught them to rely on overwhelming firepower. That tactic had failed. The humans were not responding. They were waiting. "They are waiting for us to make a mistake," Yunha said quietly. Ryu turned to her, his eyes sharp. "Exactly. That is what patience does. They think we fear them, but we fear nothing. Not yet. We observe and we wait." The aliens began to coordinate again. They moved closer, attempting to intimidate the humans further. The Vareth believed that sheer numbers and energy output would force the Daehan frontier to yield. They did not realize that the humans had already planned for every possibility. "Captain, they are testing the outer defenses again," Ji-won said. "Let them test," Ryu replied. "We learn more about their tactics with every action they take." The first real realization hit Commander Keylor when he saw a slight pulse from the human ship's main cannon system. Not firing yet, just a hum that indicated it could strike. He could not understand it. How could a ship so small, so seemingly weak, have weapons capable of devastating any cruiser in his fleet? His officers began to whisper about human unpredictability. Keylor felt fear rising in his chest for the first time in his long life. Inside the Daehan frontier, Daehyun worked quietly, monitoring every system. "They still believe we are fragile," he said. Ryu nodded. "Good, let them believe it. When they finally strike recklessly, we will respond." That is when they learn what it means to face a human warship. The alien fleet hesitated again, unsure how to proceed. They had never encountered an enemy that ignored their attacks and waited silently. Kalor realized that their first mistake was already forming in their minds. The humans were not just floating in space. They were teaching the Vareth patience, and in doing so they controlled the battlefield. Ryu studied the sensors, his calm eyes reading the alien ships like a map. Hold fire, observe, let them act first. The Vareth officers grew more anxious. They could sense something different about this enemy. The Dahan frontier was not like anything in the galaxy. It was small, simple, yet dangerous. Each second of hesitation gave the humans more advantage. Each scan and maneuver by the aliens revealed their own weaknesses. They are testing our patience, Keylor admitted, his voice low. We cannot let them remain unchallenged for long. The human ship remained steady, calm, and silent. It seemed almost alive, absorbing the aggression around it without flinching. The alien fleet did not know what to do next. They had weapons, numbers, experience, but they lacked understanding. The humans had patience, control, and resilience. Inside the Dahan frontier, the crew watched, waited, and prepared. They had all the information they needed. When the Vareth made the first true mistake, they would respond swiftly, decisively, and without hesitation. In the cold darkness of space, between two fleets, a new understanding formed. The humans were no longer legends or myths. They were here, they were real, and they were ready. The first move had not yet been made, but the stage was set for the humans to reveal the strength that would make the Vareth stop moving and reconsider everything they thought they knew about power in the galaxy. The void was silent again, but the tension between the two fleets had grown heavier. The Vareth Dominion ships hovered around the Dahan frontier, unsure of what to do. Commander Kalor could feel the unease spreading among his officers. Their scans had failed, their weapons had failed, and the humans had not reacted. It was impossible. No one had faced an enemy like this before. Inside the human ship, Captain Ryu Seok remained calm. He observed the alien fleet, noting the hesitation in their movements. Lieutenant Ji-Wan worked the sensors tirelessly, feeding data to the captain and tactical officer Yun-Ha. Captain, they are hesitating even more now. Some ships are moving back slightly. Good, Ryu said softly. Let them doubt themselves. Daehyun, check the railguns. Are they fully charged? Yes, Captain. All 6 barrels are ready. We can fire at any moment, Yun-Ha studied the displays. They think they have us surrounded. They have not realized their positioning is vulnerable. Ryu nodded. Patience. Let them make the mistake. Keylor called a meeting with his top officers on the flagship. He tried to appear in control, but fear was creeping in. We are superior. We have numbers. We have weapons. Yet this ship survives everything we do. What are we missing? One officer hesitated. Commander, their armor absorbs energy differently than anything we have seen. Our attacks are ineffective, and they do not move. It is almost as if they are observing us, learning our weaknesses. Keylor clenched his fists. Then we must test them further. Focus all firepower on the forward section. If they survive that, we retreat. But we cannot allow them to study us unchallenged. On the Dahan frontier, alarms flashed briefly as the Vareth fired again. The beams hit the hull but were absorbed with no damage. Daehyun monitored the readings with a calm smile. Hull integrity is perfect. They will be confused now. Ryu leaned forward slightly. Prepare to respond. Not yet, but ready all systems. The Vareth ships tightened their formation. Kalor wanted a decisive strike, but his officers were uneasy. Every attack had failed. Every calculation had produced unpredictable results. Ready the energy pulse barrage, he commanded. Hit them at once. The aliens fired together, a wave of destructive energy aimed at the Dahan frontier. The humans did not flinch. The armor dispersed the energy harmlessly, redirecting it in patterns the Vareth could not understand. The bridge crew worked silently, observing every effect, learning every movement of the enemy fleet. Captain, they are stunned, Ji-Wan said. They are not firing anymore. They seem unsure what to do. Exactly, Ryu replied. Let them stay confused. That is when we are strongest. Kalor grew more anxious. His fleet had never experienced hesitation from an enemy that could survive their attacks. He realized that their arrogance had been shattered. The human ship was not only surviving, it was in control. The Vareth had no idea when or if it would strike. That uncertainty was paralyzing. On the Daehan frontier, Daehyun checked the energy levels of the railguns. Ready. One command and they will understand our power. Yunha observed the alien ships carefully. They are forming a tighter circle, but it is uneven. They are overcompensating, afraid to move too close. Ryu nodded. Yes, that is perfect. Let them continue their mistake. Every second they hesitate gives us the advantage. The alien fleet grew more cautious. Commander Kalor could sense fear in his crew. They had expected to intimidate a weak human ship. Instead, they were facing a silent, unyielding opponent that they could not read. Their confidence was slipping, and panic began to creep into their calculations. We must act, one officer said nervously. If we hesitate too long, they will strike first. Kalor shook his head. No, not yet. We cannot allow them to control the battlefield. Patience is key, but we are running out of time. Inside the Daehan frontier, Captain Ryu considered the options carefully. Every move by the aliens revealed their weaknesses, and the humans had not yet revealed any of their own. Hold positions. Observe their next action. We will strike at the moment they expose themselves. The minutes stretched into tense hours. The alien ships remained frozen, unsure and hesitant. The human ship floated calmly, a silent predator among the stars. It had learned their patterns, understood their weaknesses, and waited for the perfect moment to act. Kalor could feel the weight of the situation pressing down on him. He had faced countless enemies, but none like this. His fleet could be destroyed before they even realized it. The humans had not moved, had not fired, and yet they were in total control. For the first time, Kalor questioned everything he had known about power in the galaxy. Ryu turned to his crew. They are stopping themselves. We do not need to force their hand. Patience and observation are our allies. Daehyun nodded. Everything is ready. Whenever you command, Captain. Jiwon smiled slightly. They will make the first mistake soon. It is only a matter of time. Yunha's eyes never left the sensors. They cannot believe a single ship can hold them in check. Their fear is growing. Ryu nodded quietly. Yes, that is exactly what we want. In the cold darkness of space, the alien fleet remained frozen, their weapons ready but useless. The human ship floated calmly among them, silent and patient. The Vareth had come to see a weak enemy, but what they found was a predator in disguise waiting for the right moment. The first real confrontation was coming, and when it happened, the humans would strike with precision and force that would leave the aliens stunned. For now, the silence stretched across the void. Both sides watched. One side waited, calm and confident. The other hesitated, fearful and uncertain. The Daehan frontier had shown them that legends of human power were not myths. The humans were real, and they were ready to teach the galaxy the cost of underestimating them. The void of space stretched endlessly, filled with stars that seemed indifferent to the silent tension below. The Vareth fleet hovered uncertain around the human ship. Commander Kalor felt the weight of their failure pressing on him. His fleet had never faced a ship like the Daehan frontier. Its armor had absorbed every attack. Its crew had not panicked, and it had studied their movements without making a single mistake. Fear had settled across the Vareth bridge, and hesitation had frozen their actions. Inside the Daehan frontier, Captain Ryu Seok watched the displays calmly. The enemy ships had stopped moving, their weapons idle, their formations shaky. Lieutenant Jiwon continued scanning, reporting every subtle change in the alien fleet. Captain, they have frozen completely. No one is making a move. Good, Ryu said softly. They finally understand the cost of underestimating humans. Daehyun, keep the railguns charged. We may not need them, but we must be ready. Engineer Daehyun nodded. All systems nominal. We can respond instantly. Yunha's eyes remained on the tactical displays. They are not moving at all. It is as if they cannot comprehend what is happening. Ryu studied the frozen alien fleet, a faint smile on his lips. They have seen us. Not just as a ship, but as humans. And it has stopped them. The Vareth officers exchanged worried glances. Their scans showed no weakness, no vulnerability. Their weapons were powerful, but the human ship had absorbed everything. Commander Kalor tried to regain control. Fire a signal, demand surrender, he ordered, his voice tight. The alien communication officer hesitated, confused. Commander, I do not think they will respond. Their readings suggest full awareness, but complete control. It is unlike anything we have encountered. Kalor clenched his fists. Do it anyway. Show them we are not afraid. A transmission beam shot across the void. The human ship received it immediately. But Ryusuk did not respond. He remained calm, observing. Lieutenant Jiwon monitored the signal and reported, "Captain, they are asking for surrender. They do not understand that we do not fear them." "Let them see that," Ryu replied. "We will not strike yet. We do not need to. They are frozen already." On the alien flagship, Keylor could feel panic growing among his officers. The fear of the unknown had rooted them in place. They had never faced such a silent, unyielding opponent. Every move they had made was anticipated, and every attack had failed. The humans had not fired a single shot, yet they were in total control. "They are testing our patience," one officer whispered. Keylor shook his head. "No, they are teaching us fear. They do not need to fire. They are stronger than we thought, because they are calm where we panic." Inside the Daehan frontier, Ryu turned to his crew. "Hold positions. Do not act unless necessary. Let them understand the futility of their aggression." Daehyun smiled quietly. "They cannot comprehend it. Their systems cannot read our calm. They think we are just a small ship, but they are wrong." Yunha studied the displays. Their flagship is trembling. They are scanning each other, trying to find guidance. Keylor is unsure what to do next. Ryu's calm eyes scanned the enemy ships. "The moment they move recklessly, we will strike. But for now, let them feel the weight of what they are up against." The Vareth fleet had come to see a weak, isolated ship. They had expected to intimidate and control, but the humans had reversed the situation. Every second of hesitation, every pulse of indecision was a victory. The Daehan frontier had made them realize that not all power came from numbers or weapons. Some power came from calm, patience, and confidence. Commander Keylor felt the cold truth settle in his chest. This human ship, this single craft, had stopped him and his fleet without firing a single destructive shot. It was impossible yet real. His crew watched him, awaiting orders that would never restore their confidence. On the human bridge, Ryu Seok turned slightly to his crew. "Record everything. Earth will want to know what they faced and how we held them." "This is history," Jiwon nodded. "All sensors are recording. Every movement, every energy pulse, every hesitation." Daehyun checked the railguns again. "Ready if needed. But I think we are fine for now." Yunha's eyes were sharp. "They are frozen. They cannot process what they are seeing. It is like they have stopped thinking." Ryu Seok allowed himself a small smile. "Exactly. We have shown them that humans are not legends. We are real, and we do not fear what they believe is impossible." The Vareth fleet remained motionless, suspended in space. Commander Keylor sat in his chair, unable to order any decisive action. The humans had taught them something more terrifying than any weapon could. They had taught them humility, patience, and the cold certainty of human strength. Minutes passed like hours. The human ship remained calm, patient, and unyielding. The alien fleet had stopped moving. They had fired their weapons, scanned with all their technology, and yet they were frozen in place. The realization had dawned too late. They were facing not myths, not legends, but humans. Ryu Seok turned to his crew, voice calm. "Prepare to depart. We have done what we needed. They will remember this day." The crew worked quickly and efficiently, engaging the warp drives. Lights flickered as the engines prepared to bend space. The Daehan frontier slowly began to accelerate, disappearing into the darkness. On the Vareth bridge, Commander Keylor watched the humans vanish. A silence fell over the alien fleet. They could not comprehend what had happened. Their pride had been shattered by a single ship, operated by humans who had not fired a single destructive shot, yet had dominated the entire encounter. For the Vareth Dominion, the story would be told for generations. The day they saw a human warship and stopped moving would echo across their history. The lesson was clear. Humans were not to be underestimated. They were real, they were dangerous, and they were patient where others panicked. Inside the Daehan frontier, Captain Ryu Seok watched the stars stretch around them. "Let them remember," he said softly. "They have learned what it means to face a human warship." The crew felt a quiet pride. They had faced the unknown, survived, and demonstrated the strength of humanity without firing a single shot of true destruction. In the silence of space, they had won, and the galaxy would never forget the day the Vareth stopped moving before a single human warship